The hospital lights flickered above like cold, unfeeling eyes as the little girl's wheelchair rolled across the sterile white floor. Her tiny hands clutched a folded piece of paper, the last report from her oncologist, and her tear-streaked face told a story no child should ever have to live. Her name was Lily, just 9 years old, with a heart as soft as a whisper and courage far greater than her frail body. Her grandfather, George, pushed her chair slowly, his eyes hollow, his soul tired from months of begging and hoping. They had come to this hospital one last time, not for miracles but for mercy. But what they met instead was rejection. Before we dive deeper into this powerful, true-to-life story of compassion, courage, and unexpected heroes, please like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you believe in kindness, humanity, and second chances. It costs nothing, but it helps stories like this reach more hearts like yours. Lily had been fighting leukemia for 2 years. Her mother had passed away when she was 6, and her father had left long before that. George, her grandfather, became her world. He sold his house, his tools, even his old pickup truck, anything to keep her treatments going. But the money ran out, and so did the hospital's patience. When they walked into the oncology department that cold morning, George carried nothing but a desperate heart and a folder full of unpaid bills. At the reception, a young nurse avoided eye contact as she read their file. A few minutes later, a doctor came forward. A woman in a crisp white coat, stern-faced, with no time for sentiment. "Mr. Harris," she said coldly, "without insurance or immediate payment, the hospital cannot proceed with further treatment. We've already extended care beyond protocol." George pleaded, his voice trembling, but the doctor pointed toward the exit, her tone rising. Lily, still in her wheelchair, broke down, whispering through her tears that she didn't want to die. The scene was heartbreaking. A small, sick child crying in a place meant to heal, being pushed away by the very people sworn to protect life. Security guards appeared, hovering nearby as if George and Lily were intruders instead of patients. The old man's dignity crumbled under the weight of helplessness. He turned the wheelchair around, his vision blurred with tears. "Come on, sweetheart," he whispered. "We'll find another way." But deep down, he knew there was no another way. They made it to the hospital's parking lot, where the air felt colder and heavier than before. George sat on a bench, holding Lily's trembling hand, not realizing that fate was about to turn in the most unexpected way, because at that moment a low rumble began to echo in the distance, the unmistakable growl of motorcycle engines. One by one they appeared, a group of bikers in black leather jackets, helmets shining under the sun, the kind of men people often crossed the street to avoid. They parked their bikes in a perfect line, drawing stares from everyone around. The leader, a tall man with a grey beard and gentle eyes, stepped forward and asked, "You George Harris?" George looked up, startled. "Yes. Who are you?" The man knelt beside Lily and smiled softly. "We're the Iron Hearts," he said. "Your neighbor told us about you." A few days earlier, one of George's neighbors had shared Lily's story on social media, a plea for help that was shared hundreds of times but ignored by most. Except for the Iron Hearts, a motorcycle club known not for trouble, but for charity. They had raised money for children's hospitals before, often showing up for fundraisers when no one else would. When they saw Lily's photo, a little girl with a bandana hiding her hair loss, smiling bravely despite everything, they decided they weren't just going to donate, they were going to act. That afternoon, the Iron Hearts walked straight into the hospital with George and Lily. The same hallways that had felt cold now trembled with the heavy steps of leather boots. Doctors and nurses stopped in their tracks, startled by the sight of nearly a dozen bikers escorting a little girl in a wheelchair. At the reception desk, the same doctor who had turned them away looked up and froze. The bearded leader stepped forward, laid a thick envelope on the counter, and said, "This should cover her treatment, and if it's not enough, we'll be back tomorrow." The room fell silent. The doctor's lips parted in disbelief as she looked at the bikers, men who looked like outlaws, now standing like guardians of an innocent child. "But who are you people?" she whispered. The leader smiled faintly. "We're just a bunch of folks who still believe in doing what's right." From that moment, everything changed. Lily was admitted back into treatment that same day. The bikers stayed in the waiting area, some pacing, some silently praying. They took turns visiting her room, bringing coloring books, little stuffed animals, and laughter. They even painted her wheelchair black and chrome to look like a mini motorcycle, which made her giggle. For the first time in weeks. The hospital staff began to see the bikers differently too. Not as men with rough exteriors, but as symbols of compassion hidden behind leather and steel. Weeks passed, and Lily's condition slowly improved. Her doctors, once skeptical, began to fight harder for her recovery. One nurse said she'd never seen such a turnaround, not just in Lily's health, but in her spirit. The little girl who used to cry in silence now talked about dreams, about learning to ride a pink motorcycle one day, just like her biker uncles, as she called them. Meanwhile, George often sat by her bedside, overwhelmed with gratitude. He couldn't believe that strangers, people he'd never met, had shown his granddaughter more kindness than the system ever did. When Lily was finally declared in remission months later, the Iron Hearts were there to roll out of the hospital. The staff lined the hallway, applauding. Even the doctor who had once refused them was there, tears in her eyes, quietly whispering, "I was wrong." Outside, under the clear blue sky, the bikers revved their engines in celebration. Lily, now stronger, raised her tiny arm and pretended to twist the throttle of her imaginary bike. The sound of roaring engines echoed through the parking lot like thunder, not of fear but of triumph. The Iron Hearts had not just given a little girl a second chance at life. They had reminded everyone that compassion wears many faces, and sometimes the roughest hands hold the kindest hearts. If this story touched your soul, if it reminded you that hope can come from the most unexpected places, please like this video, share it with someone who needs faith in humanity, and subscribe for more true and inspiring stories like this one. And before we end, tell us in the comments, what does kindness mean to you? Does it come from wealth, or from the heart that chooses to care? As the bikers rode off that day, their engines faded into the distance, but their impact remained forever, in one little girl's heartbeat that refused to stop, and in the lives of everyone who witnessed how a group of strangers became heroes when the world turned its back. Sometimes, it doesn't take a miracle to save a life, just people who still believe in being human.